beautiful charge.
Whoa,
This is
what
fine.
a
Oh my god, this
Oh,
what a save. Okay.
All right, welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. I hope you had a nice little short break there, but we've got another exciting race for you coming up right now. My name is Shed. I'm joined by my co-host F. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited for this race coming off of that last one.
Yeah, I know. This could be a good one. We have a race between HydraSR, the first seed in the tournament coming out of the group stage, and MrGreeZ, the 32nd seed. So about the same, maybe a little bit more of a differential than the last race we had between Wilson and Oshi. But so we would expect Hydra to come out with a win here, but as we saw from that last race, anything can happen.
Yeah, Ori is just that kind of game where it's so easy to take a death, no matter where you are and at what level you play at.
So I just want to direct your attention down to the left side of the screen here where we see the radar graph. You might notice that Hydra's consistency stat seems a little bit low, and that's due to he had some fun in the group stage. Let's just leave it at that. But despite that, we see that his early, mid, and late game is very, very solid, and we will expect him to be in the lead for most of the race here.
Right. And GreeZ, on the other hand, is quite a good runner also, but not quite there with some of the tricks.
Yeah. We see GreeZ with a 34 personal best. Very respectable, but hard pales in comparison to Hydra's personal best of a 28. One of only 3 people to have a 28 time as their personal best.
Yeah,
but
as the race starts, we'll be looking for what makes a 28 a 28 in Hydra's play, and we'll see how he handles it as he goes forward.
Yeah, you'll have to look for the tiny optimizations, the perfect movements that differentiate a runner of Hydra's caliber from someone like GreeZ.
And that's not to say GreeZ is a bad runner.
Oh, no. Yes, GreeZ is a very good runner for sure.
No, he's very, very good. There's just, this game has so much potential in the way you play.
And they are off. We see the runners have started. They're heading down the very first little running section of the game to collect their first skill of the game, Sign, an energy cell on the way. They will be progressing through the rest of the game. An early color code from Hydra, a nice green there. It's always a solid color choice.
Yeah. There's like two schools of thought where sometimes you can get a very bad color for Ori if you use a color code.
I don't know what you mean. Dark purple Ori is the best Ori.
In the beginning here, there's not much difference between these runners. There's honestly not that much of a movement, but we can see a difference here. So GreeZ is a controller player, but he does play hybrid, and you can see the difference in this Frankie fight here, where GreeZ was pacing his shots, while Hydra used a combination of paced and mashed shots.
Yeah, that's one of the differences you can see already between the caliber of runners. Hydra has started pulling ahead already. Slight hiccup there, don't worry about that. That is fixing a tech issue on our side, but Hydra is still going strong. But yeah, you can already see Hydra pulling ahead with quite a few seconds of lead here.
Yeah, and GreeZ unfortunately got a pickup on the bounce pad, and so the pickup animation overwrote the act of jumping, and so he had to just sit there for a little bit.
Although after a little bit of syncing there, we might see that Hydra might not have, or okay. Looks like we're getting everything fixed and we should be good at this point now.
And so Hydra still with a few seconds lead coming up to this first ghost store. And it looks like he's managed his health well and has gotten down to 1 HP.
Yeah, the runners were taking some intentional damage in order to kill themselves quickly for the ghost door glitch. We're going to see Hydra head up to get the 4th safety health. GreeZ doing the same. This is a very common strat from most runners in the tournament. Just adds that little bit of extra safety without costing too much time. Probably about 3 to 4 seconds over the course of the whole run. So very, very common strategy to grab that safety.
It also has the nice side effect of refilling you back to 4 HP.
After the ghost story, you're at 1, so grabbing the health cell pulls you all the way back up to full, just in case.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Hydra levels up on the way back up, correct?
Yes, I believe so. Hydra does a strategy in the next area, Blackroot, called the Genocide strat, where he basically, you'll see what he does when he gets there. He's going to be killing a lot of slimes, but it's very, very common for runners who do the Genocide strat to want to level on the way out to make it slightly easier for themselves, since you pick up some more XP than you would if you leveled on the way in.
Yeah, and MrGreeZ is also leveling up on the way out, and so just a few seconds difference at the wall jump tree, and they'll be going to the left to pick up this energy cell.
Yep, this is the second energy cell the runners have picked up. They'll end up with 5 by about halfway through the run, and that will be all they will be getting.
Yeah, and the use of this energy is what differentiates runners of this caliber. You'll see a runner like Hydra place a lot less safety saves. But we've heard from MrGreeZ today that he's going for all of his fastest strats. So we'll be seeing in the late game how he manages his energy.
Yeah, we heard from MrGreeZ before this race that he knows that the differential between him and Hydra is quite high, and he is not expecting to win the race in any capacity. But despite that, he's going to be running for a personal best of his. He's going to be chasing his best times. He's going to be running for himself. Just trying to put on the best show that he can.
So you can see a slight difference in our runners routes here, where Hydra is killing some of these enemies and also picking up that 15 XP orb before entering Blackroot.
Yeah, this is part of that Genocide strat I mentioned. So what you want to do in Blackroot is you want to have a level up at some point to have an extra ability point to skip a cutscene that's at the end, since we spend the one we have to skip the cutscene at the start. So the previous and most common strategy would be to grab a 100 XP orb that's at the bottom of this area with a rather tricky jump. But a new strat, the Genocide strat, that we'll see Hydra going for is instead he's going to be killing a bunch of these slimes and grabbing each of their 12 XPs to make up for that 100 that he'll be missing. Yeah. And what this lets him do is grab an earlier platform cycle, so he saves a bit of time over grabbing the 100.
But he did have... Oh, he just took a very unfortunate death.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that he had messed up his movement slightly at the beginning, and so he would have to be careful on these upcoming platform cycle. But with the death, he reset that, but he's still... it just puts him back further behind.
Yeah, you might even notice that's allowed MrGreeZ to take the lead now, since he did not take that death. That's quite a costly bit of time for Hydra there. We will expect him to make up that lead again, but for the time being, he is behind MrGreeZ now. We'll see MrGreeZ on the right side doing a reload in order to set up the platform cycle a little bit better. He does not have the fast cycle that Hydra will have because of the Genocide strat. MrGreeZ did not go for the Genocide. So that reset makes it a slightly nicer than it might have maybe been for him.
And so you'll see as MrGreeZ has to dodge this last slime because he was a little high on experience as he was entering Blackroot. But Hydra is not going to. He's actually going to be manipulating this slime and the next one so that he'll be able to catch their XPs.
Right, he's got to get within 19 XP from leveling for a trick called Frankie Walk that's coming up very soon after the runners collect Dash. It's the first of 3 major sequence breaks in the route, and you basically need a timed level up, so that's what all of this XP routing is for.
And both of our players got a very good manipulation on their platform cycles in the Dash room, waiting a little bit in the previous room, just to manipulate loads.
Yep, make sure they catch platform cycles without wasting too much time. See, MrGreeZ on the right is doing a save anywhere glitch where he's moving behind the ability menu in order to skip cutscene. Looks like he has done it just fine, and he'll be collecting Dash before Hydra on the left, who is just now starting the cutscene skip himself.
And you can see from our stats that MrGreeZ is just about a second behind, grabbing his best time grabbing Dash Tree, so he's on very good pace so far.
Yeah, doing quite well. Oop, having a little trouble with the dashes there. But he is now heading out of Blackroot up to the Frankie Walk that I just mentioned.
So he'll be dashing over this slow zone, bouncing up this jump pad, and he's going to be going up here to aggro a frog and walk it, hence the Frankie Walk.
There we see, there's our friend Billy the Frog. We'll be carrying across this entire room. Hydra is making friends with Billy on the left. MrGreeZ is halfway through the walk on the right.
Taking a little bit of damage there. Don't worry, that's intentional. You just gotta take the damage to get over those spikes. Have the frog follow you too.
MrGreeZ has completed his Frankie Walk, but it's not quite over yet. This next section we call Death Gauntlet for a reason. It's very spooky, and you can't make any safety saves beforehand.
Yeah, and he gets through. He's going to take it slow on these brambles.
Yeah, opting for some safety there just to... there is a more dangerous strat you could have gone for there. We might see Hydra go for it. There it is. Death Glide. He makes it through, but that is a very spooky strat, so MrGreeZ opting not to do it just for that little bit of extra safety.
He's still ahead. He's not watching Hydra, so he doesn't know that he's ahead. But
Right.
But these are the strats he goes for. He'll be attempting Grotto Cycle, but doesn't quite make it up to the ledge. We can see, well, let's see on the left-hand side of our screen if Hydra's going to go
Hydra
for
makes
it.
it.
And he makes it. Very nicely done. And so,
Precise dashes and jumps to be able to make an early Crusher Cycle there. So Hydra has made up 8 seconds on MrGreeZ, which actually allowed him to take the lead. That was enough.
both of our runners doing another quick ghost store to get in. Going to be jumping down here, and they'll be collecting double jump.
Doing another sort of mini cutscene skip to allow ourselves some blind movement here. We'll see Hydra has moved off to the left, and he'll be heading back up out of the area. MrGreeZ doing the same. There is not a very big difference between these runners right now. Although I would expect Hydra to start running away with this lead, provided he doesn't make too many major mistakes. Oh, MrGreeZ, be careful.
Yeah, he had a little bit of trouble with the blind movement, and so he ended up with the enemies spawned when he was coming back.
Hydra doing some precise jumps on the left side of your screen in order to skip an area off to the left that we don't need to do. He gets through just fine. Well done by him. We'll see MrGreeZ attempting the same on the right. Let's see how many tries it takes him.
I think MrGreeZ has got it first try on it in the tournament so far. Has a little bit of trouble.
Second try. I'm not sure if that was unintentional. Some runners try to land on top of the swinging platform there to make it easier for themselves. But it did look like he did go for it, so I'd call that second try. But
it's a second try is totally fine though. It's
perfectly respectable, yeah. Definitely saves way more time than actually going off to the left for the casual route.
That's a very long section.
Here on the left, you can see Hydra doing some fancy double jumps to climb these walls. Very clean movement through this area. Going to be grabbing a teleporter and continuing to head up and out.
Yeah, this Enter Ginso split is one of the defining splits, actually, for a runner of Hydra's caliber.
Right. It's very, very easy in this area to lose tiny bits of time here and there without even really noticing it. All right, Hydra took 3 damage there. So he had to be a little bit careful with the slime, but he did get the level up, so he's now at full health. And we're actually, wow, this is interesting. We're seeing a bit of a route divergence. There is an ability cell up above where Hydra could have grabbed. Him not grabbing that means later on in the route, he's probably going to be going for a way more difficult strat called Crazy Juggle that we saw Wilson go for last race.
And Hydra took 2 damage from the purple spinners, but he got over that last purple spinner very, very, very nicely. And so he'll be making his way into Ginso.
You can see MrGreeZ on the right side is heading up to grab that ability cell that Hydra skipped. Costing some time to get up here and grab it, but he will have an easier trick to do in Sorrow Pass when we get there.
Yeah, so Hydra's entered the Ginso tree, and you can see that double jump movement coming into play here, because you need to go up the Ginso tree. And double jump is, right now, our best way of going up walls.
That was impressive. Hydra just made an early Gamer cycle, earlier even than what we would normally call an early cycle. The earliest cycle? I'm going to call it that from now. He made the earliest cycle in that room. That is some impressive and precise movement by him, so well done. Also
taking that lower route, which includes a damage boost, but Hydra making it look easy.
Yeah. Seeing GreeZ enter the Ginso tree himself now, and he will be climbing, perhaps in a slightly less fancy fashion.
I guess the first jump, that first jump is trickier than it looks.
Yeah, you basically need to be at max height in order to make it. Hydra on the left is in the first mini-boss. He's going to be going for a 4-cycle. We normally are perfectly happy with a 5-cycle, but Hydra is the type of runner that will be going for the 4, and it looks like he unfortunately missed it. Has to do 1 extra hit on the mini-boss. He missed 1, and will take the 5-cycle.
That's crazy.
I know, like, just being 1 off like that is already impressive.
To get a 5-cycle, you need to shoot the boss pretty much as immediately as it spawns and head to the next, the place where it's spawning next, almost immediately after it despawns.
Yeah, there's a, you can kind of sort of see where the boss is going to spawn next. There's a 1-frame tell that a lot of runners, even at GreeZ's level, will be able to catch and look for. But to get the 4-cycle that Hydra was going for, you can't even use that. You need to anticipate faster than seeing the 1-frame. So
it looks like GreeZ is getting an average of about 8 shots per cycle. And so he's on track to make a 5-cycle.
It's even more impressive for GreeZ since he's on controller, so he is actually mashing these shots, whereas Hydra, as a keyboard player, will usually have Spirit Flame bound to a scroll wheel, which makes it significantly easier.
And Hydra has collected Bash and has set up his key dupe on the second platform, doing a force damage boost to lower his health to set up this key dupe, where as he dies, he'll place the keys in the door, and respawn and rekindle his save, and the keys will be in his inventory and back in the world.
Yep, so he can pick them up again. This is to skip an area in the next area in Swamp that we would have to go swimming for some keys, and it takes quite some time. So we see GreeZ has now made it to Bash. He will be collecting that skill. Hydra is using Bash to take out the second mini-boss with quite a solid lead over GreeZ here.
GreeZ still needs to get up to the key dupe platforms and set up his save. On the way there, we'll see how he gets through this redirect puzzle room. Normally you redirect this shot to the left and it goes through the teleporter, but GreeZ just bashing it at a precise angle and bashing it once more just to break that wall.
Alright, Hydra on the left is now heading towards the second of our big 3 sequence breaks, Swamp Entry. That's a pretty precise manipulation of a frog in order to break some barriers that we normally would not be able to. So far, Hydra has a 100% success rate on Swamp Entry. Let's see if he can keep that up.
Doing a little bit of blind movement before that, has made it to the frog very nicely. He's going to...
Oh, careful. My goodness, that was close. But he's fine. The frog is fine.
Everything's fine. So what happened is he caught the frog a little low there, and so
there
he had had a little bit of trouble getting the frog up onto that ledge and into that bed of spikes.
He recovered nicely, though, was able to adapt to his situation and get the trick done.
GreeZ has just finished killing his mini-boss, so he'll be teleporting back to Moon Grotto.
Hydra's going for a double bash there, unfortunately missed it. There, that's what what do you... Hydra, why? This is so unnecessary. Oh, man. Double bashing is a normally a 1-frame trick, but keyboard and mouse users like Hydra have a special setup where they are able to do it without worrying about the 1-frame, and he decided to show off a little bit and do 3 or 4 of them in a row to get up to Stomp. Not even sure that was faster, but whatever, Hydra. Go ahead.
And so GreeZ is opting not to skip the lasers here before Swamp Entry. And so this means as he comes out of Swamp into the area Hydra's going to be heading back into.
Oh, that's painful. I don't know where GreeZ's closest safety save is. It should be right there. Yeah, okay, yeah, he's good. He's got a save.
So GreeZ taking a death before Swamp Entry, but he has to be a little bit more careful on his way back out of Swamp. Is what I was going to say before.
Right. You see, GreeZ has successfully gotten his frog up onto the spikes. He will be doing the Swamp Entry. Oh no! A bash bug. Unfortunate.
And
taking a death.
Opts to take the death to reset. And on the left-hand side of your screen, Hydra got his Kuro cutscene skip. It didn't look like anything happened. And we'll be heading up to Charge Flame.
Alright, he's making quick work of this area here. GreeZ on the right actually misses the Swamp Entry again and kills the frog. He'll have to reset. You need that frog alive.
This is so unfortunate. Yeah. I think he just barely didn't get the height he wanted on that last shot, and as he went to bash up, you know, we're speedrunners, we want to save as much time as possible. As he wanted to bash up
there he goes.
This ledge.
Third try for MrGreeZ, and he is into Swamp. Meanwhile, Hydra is now heading over the Spirit Tree, skipping a very long cutscene there. We'll be heading over into Valley of the Wind.
Collecting this energy cell, and he's going to be bashing this bird into a specific position to make it easier, just a little bit faster to get up to that stomp peg.
GreeZ has now made it to Stomp.
And so, go ahead.
I was just going to say he's now going to be heading over to the left side where we see Hydra is now.
So he has a couple of tricks up ahead of him. He has the Kuro cutscene skip, and also he has to watch out for the lasers. So we'll see if he opts to place any safety saves on the way there.
Right. GreeZ did not opt for the blind movement for Swamp Entry, so he has to know that the lasers in that area are still there. Careful of the water. You do not want to take a bath. Both of these runners skipped cleaning the water, so it is still poisonous throughout the entire area, despite how blue it might look.
And Hydra has gone up to... Oh, and gets his fast stompless attempt. But
Hydra changing his language in the middle of the cutscene there. He went for a trick called Fast Stompless. He got it as well, where you shot a spider shot off to the left and ran away so that it can make it all the way to break some rocks way faster than you could normally get to them. It's a very difficult trick, but he pulls it off super clean, as we would expect a runner of his caliber to do. Oh no, GreeZ missed the Kuro cutscene skip, so this is the infamous Kuro cutscene that we would normally not be seeing in this area if he got the skip, but there's the large bird.
I'd say it's going to lose GreeZ about 17 seconds, so he's going to be just taking it slowly through this section.
It's a little bit sad to have to take a time loss like that, but GreeZ has to just power through and keep going in the run. Hydra's now up into Sorrow Pass. He is doing the crazy juggle. This is what I mentioned before. He skipped an ability cell, so he has to do this trick instead of the normal Terror Break. Every single one of these dashes upwards is a 2-frame window, and he successfully gets up. That is so impressive. That trick is incredibly difficult, even for high-level runners like Hydra.
And he'll set up his...
impressive to watch.
Yeah, I think he missed maybe one of those charge dash cancels, which is honestly it's so impressive.
I didn't even notice on the replay. We can see that he skirted so close to some spikes there, and the rocket jump upwards as well. That was so dangerous. He almost had to do all of it again, but he has now collected the Sunstone. He's going to have to head out of Sorrow Pass now, stopping halfway down to collect Charge Jump skill.
Having to wait a little bit on these cycles here. Didn't like his movement on the way out.
Oh! Quick death, but he's back up to the Sunstone, not too far away.
And on the right-hand side of your screen, GreeZ is now heading into Valley of the Wind, the area Hydra has already passed through, stopping the peg.
He will be attempting his Fast Stompless soon.
But Hydra has made it to the Charge Jump tree, so he'll be using this skill very liberally in the upcoming area.
This is a sequence break. We're not supposed to be up in the Sorrow Pass yet. We're supposed to have done 2 whole dungeons before this and an escape to release the wind in the area and be able to glide up in here, but we did a trick called Sorrow Bash to get up in here early. So now we have Charge Jump, which we're not supposed to have for the next areas. It makes it way more fun and fast.
There's a couple of Sorrow is, as you can see, very vertical, but Misty is.
I want to interrupt you real quick. We have GreeZ on the right doing fast stompless. His shot looked good. He does not have the best success rate in this trick, but he's going to be trying to make it up to this ability cell here, and the shot makes it, so he successfully got fast stompless on his first try. Very well done.
Very nicely done.
You were saying before I interrupted you, sorry.
I was just going to say that Misty isn't quite as vertical as some of the areas we've seen, but being able to charge jump does save time here and there, which is it's always nice.
Yeah, just that quick upward movement here and there saves quite some time. Yeah. Hydra has made his way about a third of the way through. Oh no, GreeZ! That was another bash bug. Unfortunately, did not launch that frog above him, which he wanted to be able to rocket jump off of upwards to Sorrow Bash, so we'll have to reload real quick. Not the worst time loss in the world, but just that little bit here and there.
He opted to take the rocket jump a little earlier after that.
He's onto his Sorrow Bash, manipulating some birds up into the corner here. Carefully putting in the corner, takes a death. Those spikes are instant death with GreeZ's health level right now. Only 4 HP and the spikes deal 4 damage. Just have to try again. Takes a hit off the bird, but that's fine, and he makes it up and through. GreeZ is now in Sorrow Pass. Hydra is in the second half of Misty. As you can see, he's collected climb and is heading out of the area. This area is notorious for having some of the most fun and fast movement in the entire route. So, especially at Hydra's level, just watch some of the fluid move. Oh, I say fluid movement, but he takes a hit there. Oof. Be careful.
Yeah. Misty isn't quite as dangerous as Sorrow Pass is, because it's supposed to be earlier in the casual route. But it's dangerous.
Oh, there's a death. Hydra's all the way back to climb. He had no safety saves through that whole area. That is quite some time loss. He is not going to be happy about that.
Let me just finish the thought. I was just going to say that it's dangerous nonetheless for us speedrunners.
Yeah. Take the 4th HP to be able to take 1 spike hit. So they deal 3 damage, but 2 hits is still not hard to accidentally take. GreeZ takes a quick death on the right side, but that is not too far away from the charge jump tree where he had a save. Takes another one. That's unfortunate, so we'll have to try that again. Hydra's now past the area where he took a death in Misty, heading up to the mini-boss and out of the area. We'll have to see if he opts for any... That's a neat little rocket jump he did there. We'll have to see if he opts for any safety saves, but I doubt he will. Yeah, no safety. We're just going right into it. There's a mini-boss.
There's too many bosses.
There's too many bosses. He missed the quick kill, so we actually saw both. But
he collected the XP. Now he's back up to full health and energy, because that's what level ups do for you in this game. As GreeZ on the right hand side of your screen is floating up to Sunstone.
Hydra's been dropping quite a bit of energy in his movement. Each of these charge dashes you see him do costs 1 energy to do, but there are ways to cancel it, such as bashing off an enemy or the stomp cancels that you might see him doing with these chains of 2 charge dashes in a row. But he's been missing a bunch of them and is down to 1 energy. That is not where you want to be heading into the next area, so he's going to have to compensate for that quite a bit. Normally, you want to be at least 2 energy here, so his movement, despite the fact that it's going to be behind a save anywhere menu, so you won't really be able to see quite what he's doing, it is quite difficult to have to adapt to have only 1 energy here.
He wants to have an energy to save here and do a glitch with this lever, which, trust me, there's a lever there.
Yeah. He is now down to 1 energy. Or no, sorry, he's down to 0 energy. I'll have to grab a backup next to a very dangerous enemy here. Or... Oh, he has an extra one? Where did he get that?
Oh.
I'm quite unsure what happened. Regardless, he's made it through Ah, we are being told that he saved on the teleporter to give himself full energy behind the save anywhere, so that was a good adaptation by him. Take a couple seconds time loss to take the save and have the energy for the area. GreeZ took a death in the first half of Misty and gets sent back all the way to the start of the area, but he had a safety save at the start that that Hydra didn't have. So if GreeZ hadn't made that safety save, he would have been all the way back up to the Sunstone. Fortunate for him that he had the save.
Yeah. I think with the strats GreeZ uses, he does have the ability to place one safety save in Misty, and he placed it before starting Misty proper, which was a good choice.
Hydra's collected grenade and is heading out of the area with some fancy charge dashes, rocket jumps, and general movement, and is now on his way to the final dungeon of the game, Horu. Mount Horu.
Yeah.
Of course, I say that dramatically, but we're going to be doing a trick that skips the whole thing, so it's not really that dramatic.
It is a one-frame trick to get there, and we'll see if Hydra decides to go for another one-frame trick right there called a grenade jump.
Hydra's showing off a little bit. These grenade jumps that you see him flying across the screen with, each one of them is a one-frame trick, as F mentioned. Oh my goodness, why?
And he's going to opt skipping this 6th health cell, which a lot of our runners do take in the tournament. He's going to be going for this grenade jump, which is very, very precise.
He's missed it a couple times. I'm wondering if he's going to keep... Oh, there it goes. He still misses it. He got up to the area, but the whole trick wants you to fly through the whole... Whoa, careful! He's showing off a little bit.
Grenade jumps give you so much horizontal velocity that sometimes it's easy to lose track of where you are.
They're so fun, but if you miss them, you're losing so much time by continuing to go for it. But Hydra knows he's not quite on pace for a personal best of his, though he is quite far ahead in the race, so he can afford the grenade jumps. Makes it through door warp first try. I wouldn't expect any less. That is a one-frame trick where you press up to enter the door on the first frame that the game loads, and it teleports you to the end of the dungeon, so we don't have to do any of the volcano. He is now in the final escape.
And he'll be trying to go through this area as fast as possible, but not too fast, because he has to set up his fish in the final cycle because he has 5 health.
Right, there's a water at the end of the escape, and the water is still poisoned, and we only have 5 health. Or Hydra only has 5 health, rather. And you need to take... You can manipulate the fish to only take 4 damage while you swim through, but they need to be in a good spot. That fish cycle looks okay. Hydra makes it through the water, only 4 damage. Very nice. And in the final climb, we have one more grenade jump, the only one that really matters because it skips half of the final cutscene. Set up in a good spot, and there it is. No soft lock for Hydra. He is finished with his run.
Very well done.
GG.
On the right,
or go ahead.
On the right-hand side of your screen, GreeZ is teleporting to collect his final skill tree. So he has energy, unlike Hydra, so he'll be going directly there.
Yeah, we're seeing GreeZ not opting for the super long save anywhere that Hydra did in this area. Doing that long save anywhere saves very, very minimal time at one part, like less than half a second, but I mean, at Hydra's level, you need every little bit of time save you can get. As you see, as Hydra's finishing up his run now, the last little bit of movement, as he crosses the finish line to take the win over GreeZ here in this match.
GreeZ taking a little bit slow through his lasers. He did get hit on the upper portion right after pulling the lever, which explains why he why he took that cycle a little bit slowly.
But he is through. He's made it to Grenade, the last skill, so he will be heading to the final dungeon.
And we'll see if GreeZ is going to be throwing any rocket jumps here. I would expect not. He has switched the way he rocket jumps. He told us before the race. He used to rocket jump primarily on controller, but now he rocket jumps using a hybrid.
That's interesting to note, actually. There's the rocket jump. Saw him go for one. Careful, the boulder. Oh my goodness. Alright, well he's made it through. That was dangerously close, but he's made it through. Grabbed a 5th HP and teleports up the swamp to head towards Horu. Real quick, I want to touch on the fact that Hydra has won this race. And since this was a winner's bracket race, Hydra will be advancing in the winner's bracket to the round of 32. Whereas GreeZ, with a loss here as he finishes up, will be heading to the loser's bracket. He's not out of the tournament yet. He's not knocked out, but he will be fighting against elimination in the loser's bracket after this race.
And GreeZ also going for 5 HP here.
Interesting.
Well, he did say before the race that he wanted to go for his fastest strats, and so
true. He's not quite on pace for a personal best here, but maybe deciding the races. He's probably looking at SRL chat. He knows that Hydra has finished at this point, so maybe deciding I want to show off a little bit. I can do these hardest strats. I can be a high caliber runner.
Yeah.
Going for the 5 HP swim. We'll see how he does. Here is Dora Warp. This is a 1-frame trick. GreeZ has had a lot of trouble with this trick in the past. See how he can do right now. First try? First try! Perfect. Well done, GreeZ. Well done.
So he'll be activating his final cutscene. And so a shout out from our stats guys and our restreamer.
Alright, GreeZ, finish it out strong. Just the final escape. Some swimming and 1 grenade jump in your way to finishing this run. Let's go.
I believe he's gonna get first try grenade jump. Easy trick.
Sounds right to me. Let's do it. Ooh. Alright, I don't know what GreeZ's energy count is, but he dropped one that he didn't want to there. Charge dashed into the wall without breaking it. So he might have only 2 tries at the grenade jump. There's a couple ways you can fail the grenade jump, one of which is a soft block, that means you have to restart the escape, one of which costs an energy. He does have 2 energy here, so if he does the failure that costs half an energy, he will be able to have 4 tries at it.
And I'd just like to note that GreeZ made the swim
first try, whatever. You call it. He made the 5 HP swim look easy as heck, and then gets a first try grenade jump. GreeZ deciding to show off for us and pulling it off nicely.
Yeah, that was a very, very strong finish to this race.
GG. The GreeZ just has to hold right here for a bit for the final cutscene, and we'll be getting his final time for you real soon.
And it looks like we have Hydra all ready for a quick interview after our race, and so we'll be pulling him in shortly.
Final time for GreeZ is a 35:51. A nice time for him. Not quite enough to beat Hydra's 31:28. So Hydra will be taking this race down. And now we are joined by Hydra. What's up?
Yo.
How are you feeling about that race, good sir?
Well, you know, I'm not a fan of the Sorrow Death that I had.
Yeah, that one was pretty rough.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that one. That was just kind of dumb on my part, but it is what it is.
I mean, you made up for it with that first try crazy juggle, right?
Yeah, sure.
So a 31:28, maybe not quite what you were hoping for, but a solid race time and enough to take the win over GreeZ here. So you will be heading on in the upper bracket to face Richard in the round of 32. How do you feel about that race coming up?
Oh, you know, I was pretty excited for that. It was either him or Monterley, and either one of those I feel is going to be a really good match.
Sounds good to me. I'm excited for it.
Well, I'd like to ask you a question, Hydra.
Yeah.
So you did get the first try crazy juggle in your run today. How confident would you say you are in that trick?
That's a good question. I don't really have an answer because it kind of depends on the day. I switch my method for crazy juggle based on how I've done previously on attempts. I use the one bind method, which is you hold shift and stomp, and then you just tap a C dash bind, which also has up on it. Or there's also the charge dash plus bash and a stomp bind that I have. And I switch those methods depending on how it's on.
Just kind of how you feel as the day progresses.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is very interesting.
So which method did you use today?
I used the one bind.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we are also joined by MrGreeZ. How are you doing after that race, MrGreeZ?
Hi, I'm pretty okay. I think my run was pretty nice, beside the trash bashes.
Yeah, I noticed those. You had like 3 or 4 of them almost, right?
Yeah.
At key moments too. It was really unfortunate.
Yeah, at least during the swamp entry, and there are rocket jump to Sorrow.
Yeah, but you managed to pull off a 35, pretty respectable time. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough to beat Hydra here, so you'll be headed to the losers bracket. You got quite a couple matches in order to set up your next opponent, but are you confident that you'll be able to continue in the losers bracket?
I really want to give MrGreeZ his revenge after our match, so...
Ah,
yeah,
right, if MrGreeZ wins his match, it'll be a rematch for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, after his match and the early deaths, unfortunately, that wasn't a real good match, so if we can rematch something and pull off a good race, why not?
That's great to hear, MrGreeZ.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll be excited to see that.
And anyway, my bet is on Hydra for the tournament, so I won my points.
There you go.
I'll try not to disappoint you.
Thank you. GG.
Yeah, GG, dude.
Yeah, GG to both of you guys on your runs.
All right, I believe that'll do it for us for now. The Ori tournament, do not have another race coming up for you right now, but there is another race today in just about 5 hours, 10 o'clock p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. We will have another race for you on Speed Gaming 3, so come back for that. Coming up right after this on this channel, Speed Gaming, we have the Diddy Kong Racing Tournament, so if you're excited for that, stick around. But until then, I have been Shed.
And I'm F.
We'll see you around.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
No,
goodness.
oh no, Yoko. Oh my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any like really bad deaths as result, but oh no! Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're gonna see what D2 decides to do. Nice safety save there, and wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
It's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so close.
crap, Rufus.
Oh,
Oh god.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh,
Monthly shot going through.
Oh, jeez, missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monthly's shots are phasing through. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Jesus, broken into swamp.
Oh, Monkley getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh!
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh! Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the platform.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow!
Bam.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that 5th.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy, what
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh,
you really just keep moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh God, Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no, oh Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so
no.
painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a sickness.
Yeah, oh, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is...
He's spawned Kuro!
Oh, he takes it death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
1 more.
And he gets it! The
First
clutch.
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.